Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and everybody watching. It's Paul O'Neill and Andy McEwen. It's Milltek Sports Civic Cup time. It's noisy. Them time attack cars do my head in. They're like so loud. It's like, just grow up. Mate, it's horrible today.
Not pleasant, is it? Although the brolly is away for the time being, first time in a few hours. So, yeah, still wet out there, bit of drizzle in the air, but an awful lot nicer than it was at the start of a qualifying session that caught a lot of people out, including some that you wouldn't necessarily have expected. So, yeah, going to be a lively race, this.
I was going to ask you about qualifying. I was on TCR duties at the time, so I was kind of watching it on TSL, but I couldn't quite make out what actually happened, and wasn't a great one for Campy, was it?
He's had better qualifying sessions, yeah. It was frustrating, really. He went off into the gravel at the first corner just as the track was starting to get quicker as well. So frustrating for him because he probably had a better time in him. I think he's quicker than fourth, he normally is. But also frustrating for the rest because it brought out a red flag and the session was ended early, so they missed out on the best of the track conditions as well. So we might have a slightly jumbled up grid, but I think generally the people at the front are the ones you'd expect. An excellent effort from Dan Thackeray to go on pole position, exactly what he needed to keep his hopes alive and keep an eye to Morgan Bailey, sixth on the grid. He'll be a little bit frustrated with, I think.
Yeah, I would have thought so at that. He's probably the one now that looks maybe the least likely to be involved. With Dan Thackeray putting his car there, that was a proper effort. We were speaking to Dave Hudson from Motion Motorsport before we went out, and he said how good he is and how impressed he was. Two people that we've seen since we've been stood in the collecting area. One is Matt Luff, who looked rather nervous, and the other was Alistair Camp, who had that not great qualifying. He looked actually quite steady. He's been here before, he's won it, knows the score.
The pressure's on for both of them, but Camp knows what it takes to do this. He's done it the last couple of years. Remember, it was him versus Matt at Snetterton, end of last year. Damp, greasy conditions, fighting for a championship then, and Alistair came out on top. So in a way, he's got less reason to stress, thank you, than Matt. Matt's going for his first championship, and you're right, he was pacing around his car, he looked like he just wanted to get going. You'll know this, though, as a driver, it's the waiting that's the worst bit, especially when there's something on the line like this. As soon as they get out on track, those nerves will settle, and they'll put on a good show for us, I'm sure.
I think the other problem is, as a driver as well, when the conditions are like this, it's not a constant, and you're sat in the car, and I'll guarantee you now it'll be going through all of their minds what it's going to be like out there, because it's not going to be the same as qualifying was, so they can't just go out and expect it to be the same. Different cars have been on track, you've got different weather, the rain's starting to come down again, so there's a lot more to think about now, and yeah, I honestly wouldn't want to be one of them, but I think the person who wins this championship after the two races today will definitely deserve it, won't they?
Oh, for sure, and it's going to go down to that last race, which we think could be dry anyway, so it's all guesswork, really. But yeah, those two have been almost inseparable all season. They both had their off weekends slightly. I think Matt will be frustrated that he didn't capitalise more on Alistair being a little off at Donington and Brands, the most two recent rounds. But generally, when things are going well for those two, there is nothing in their lap time. So it's going to be a different kind of race, though, than what we were expecting. In the dry, we were thinking it would be a bit of a slipstream battle. No one could really escape. Here, it's about having that clear visibility and first choice of line as well. You want to be on the wet line, and I think that's where the run to the first corner is going to be really important. If Matt can get ahead of Thackeray into turn one, then that's a big step towards a crucial race win.
Yeah, Rob Butler and Harvey Caton kind of in the way a bit, aren't they? In the rest of them are championship contenders, so, you know, what are they going to do? Harvey Caton had never driven in the rain in the car, and he goes and qualifies P5, was it?
Yeah, what an effort. Fifth on the grid for Harvey. It would be nice to see him do this, wouldn't it? Get a solid couple of top fives, maybe that first podium. He's had a few chances with reverse grid races, and he especially is going to be a wild card here. Butler is running with Area Motorsport, so he knows that, yes, he wants to win. He's paid his money. He deserves to go out and fight for the win just like anyone else. But he's got two teammates who are fighting for a championship. Harvey hasn't. Harvey couldn't care less who wins this championship. He just wants Harvey Caton race win. That's all he wants to hear out out of today. So he's going to be the real wild card. Thank you. As we go into this race, and he is going to be getting stuck in. I'm sure we know he gets stuck in. He has been earlier on this season, so I expect nothing different.
Well, the narrative is it's raining really hard now, isn't it, mate? Thanks to Mel Going, actually. He's just come over and give us an umbrella, because sometimes you can't see it on the television, but this is proper rain now. Will they think about making changes to the car? I don't know if they can make them any softer. They'll probably just go with what they've got. And production, let's talk about production.
Yeah, production, we could see a championship wrapped up in this next race. We could see the Cup class wrapped up, but that's very, very unlikely. The production class, if Alfie Jenkins can win this race, then by our calculations, he should be the champion. If Louis beats him, it will go down to the last race. Now, it's a long shot for Louis, but in this weather, just surviving is going to be tricky. Those two, very inexperienced. They've probably never raced in the rain, certainly nothing like this. It would be so easy for one of them to drop it. I hope they don't, but imagine if Alfie were to make a mistake, it'd be game on. So Louis just got to put the pressure on. He's already done that by taking the class pole position. He's got a slight track position advantage, and that's going to be well worth. If we can drag our eyes off the overall fight, that's going to be worth checking in on as well. Yeah,
definitely. So the drivers will not want to be getting wet. That would have been a lovely close-up on your face then, because I've got the umbrella over all three of us. Well, what I'll do, I'm going to let you go to comms.
Oh, thanks.
And I will move on up in a bit. Tell you what I'll do. I'm going to give you this, mate, because you need to keep dry. Don't worry about me. Yeah, it's cool. You crack on. Andy McEwen, thank you as always. Let's go and speak to a few people. There's one person I really want to speak to. He could win a lot of titles today, and that's Rob Baker from Area Motorsport. They've got a lot going on. TCR UK and also in the Civic Cup as well. Rob, I know you hate talking to us, but you're going to anyway. We were just saying, mate, you could win every single title possible today. Have you got any cars in Time Attack?
We have got a couple of cars in Time Attack, actually. Customers we look after. Yeah, TCR's a tall order. Obviously, Adam went off in free practice. The guys did brilliant to even get him out for qualifying, because that was basically a whole front end and a few other bits as well. Yeah, we were biding our time with tyres in TCR. In Civics, the guys qualified well. We've got Rob in second, obviously Matt and Ali third and fourth, so pretty pleased with that. But yeah, it's tight. I'm glad we've got teams pushing us. You know, people think we've gone slower. We haven't gone slower. People have just caught up. You know, at Brands, Ali went 2 tenths quicker than he went earlier in the year when he won both races, but he finished 4th and 5th. So he's gone quicker there. People have just caught up, which is it's good to see. You know, at the end of the day, we relish in the competition, and yeah, see what happens today.
How hard is it to manage drivers like Matt Luff and Alistair Camp? Because even Rob Butler's a character. They're all different, actually, aren't they?
They all get on it extremely well, extremely well. They race each other all year. Last year, as you saw, clean and fair. They got on extremely well, so I don't have to do too much, unfortunately. We haven't got any problems in the camp, put it that way. So yeah, they do the stuff. The staff have done brilliant. As you know, the timetables this year have been extremely tight, and they've turned the cars around great in TCR and in Civic. So we'll see where we get to.
Think you can win this one, mate?
We know what we need to do, so they'll certainly have a go. But we know what positions we need to kind of go into race two with. So the guys know that, and we'll see what happens. But it's wet, isn't it? Anything can happen.
Top man. Thank you, Rob. Right. Spot on. Rob Baker from the top team, which is Area Motorsport. Fair play to them. They've done a cracking job. Someone else who's done an amazing job. Chris's dad here. Come here, you. So Harvey Caton, who's in the car. Chris. Proud dad? I mean, he'd never driven in the wet. What's going on?
Yeah, we've just been tweaking all year. We've had lots of little problems with the car, but we're finally getting it there. So we'll just see what happens in the race. And if I've said, you know, if we have a bit of a bad start, you know, we've got the reverse grid and stuff, so we'll go from there. But we'll just take it. We blew a gearbox up yesterday, so we're on it till 12, getting the diff swapped over. Diff had to be stripped because of swarf and stuff. But yeah, as I say, it seems to be okay at the moment, and fingers crossed we have a good clean race and go from there for the second race then. So.
Does he seem happy enough? I don't like talking to some drivers because obviously it's a bit of a tense time, isn't it? But on the data, could you see that he could have been quicker anywhere?
Yeah, he said just before the red flag, you know, each lap he was getting more and more confident with the car. So he says there was definitely more time in the car. He was just building and building, but fortunately with the red flag, but the same thing with everybody. Everyone could have gone a bit quicker anyway as time went on. on. So he did say sort of visibility when he's behind a car. We looked at the in-car and literally all you can see is the lights of the rear car earlier with the amount of standing water and stuff. So he's just got to watch the aquaplaning and keep it on the grey stuff. So
we'll give it a go then, mate. Good luck, and we'll just have a quick word. One question, mate. Why are you so fast in the wet? Driven the car in the wet?
I don't know, I guess it's just, well, last season in JSCC, it was my first season in, and the last race we did was wet as well, and it was one of my best results, so I don't know what it is, just I guess I got good experience in the wet, I don't know.
Top man. Well, I think it's just because you drive on the seat of your pants, mate. Proper talent. Good luck, and go and enjoy it, my man. Good lad. Proper good kid is Harvey. Good to see him up there. That's such an effort. I cannot tell you honestly, in rainy conditions like this, he's hard enough as a professional, but to do it with not much knowledge of the wet on a particular tyre is unbelievable. Dave Buki is in the 51. Let's have a little word with him. It's nice to see him back. He was telling me how much, thank you, he was telling me how much the competition had moved on. It's very kind of you, thank you. Are you all right? Can you see there? Are you all right? Oh, no, mate. What? Hang on. Why have you got your mum's iPhone in here?
It actually is my mum's iPhone.
I was joking.
I went and picked it up on the way down here.
Amazing. That's an iPhone 7.
Mate, it's the best thing I've had. Like, I've had all sorts of different data dashes and things, but that V-Box Sport with the iPhone, it's great. Nice coloured screen, HD, perfect.
That's absolutely amazing. Literally, he's got an iPhone 7 attached to his dashboard to give him the screen time. But it's properly fitted, engineered well. I like that.
I want some sponsorship from V-Box for this, you know. I'm going to have to get in contact with them, aren't I?
Thought you were going to say Apple.
Apple as well, yeah, that'd be all right, wouldn't it?
Other phone companies are available. Dave, it's good to have you back. Looking forward to it. You said to me that you weren't expecting massive things because some of the pedalling up front is intense, mate.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we was here yesterday testing, limited time in the car, and obviously it was dry yesterday, so the weather today is totally different. But yeah, the pace at the front seems to have stepped on that little bit more. Having a year out of the seat, as you know yourself, being a driver, it's difficult to get back in and compete with these guys because, you know, top 10 in Civic Cup is hard work.
What was it like out on track, steaming up and things like that? Was it okay? Just anti-fog? Just have to get the screen sorted?
Yeah, the anti-fog helped. To be honest, then it was a case of trying to get used to the car again in the wet because, again, I've not done any testing in the wet conditions, so trying to get used to the car. I felt that if it hadn't have been red flagged, then we could have progressed a little bit further, but unfortunately it got red flagged. Hopefully everybody's all right from that. But yeah, we couldn't really go any further apart from 10th, so.
Listen, I'm going to let you go. There's a bit of movement. Some things are being said. I'm going to ask Mel Going, who's sorting the championship out, and seeing when you're going out. Good luck. It's great to have you back, mate. And yeah, you need to be back full time, mate. You definitely, you're lost, mate. You're lost. You definitely need to be in this paddock, lad. Nice one. Thank you very much. Cheers for looking after us. Proper good guys. We like them. Mel, not going to ask just what time are we saying here?
We've got about 4 minutes to go, I think.
Perfect. 4 minutes to go. That's good to know. Mel Going and Leanne just sorting out things. Engines are rising. I was going to speak to Louis and Alfie. Might be a bit late, but we'll give it a go. So, Louis Hounsell, such a good kid in the production class. I'll quickly ask him. Am I right to? Yeah, good lad. I don't like to they don't like to get wet inside the cars, like I've said. How are you, mate? Are you nervous? Can you do it?
Yeah, I'm a little bit nervous. My first wet race, well, this year and in this car. So I'm a bit apprehensive. Just if there's anything that happens at turn 1, just hopefully you can avoid it and like not fall off during the race and come home safe.
Top man, listen, I'm going to shut the door, keep the heat in. He doesn't want to get that car wet because that's when it steams up. Quickly speak to Alfie, see how he's getting on. Don't want to get your car wet, mate. God, it's a lot colder in here than your boy's car over there. Louis like got the hottest car in the world.
He's trying to keep them windows nice and clear, but yeah, all the best to him really. Just trying to finish both the races today, so yeah, as long as I finish both races, I bring the championship home. So yeah, just going to keep it nice and easy. If I can bag a move on Louis, I'll go for it. Obviously got to go for the wins all the time. But yeah, we'll see what happens.
Top man. Listen, all the very best. You have been the stars this year of this championship. A lot of people need to look at what you boys are doing and take note of the driving standards. Been absolutely fantastic. Have these youngsters. Right, are they going now, are they, Mel?
Yes, Checker's just gone.
Yeah, Checker's just gone, innit? All right, you mugs. See, she ate it. She ate it. Let's quickly speak to my man, Mark Hughes. Sparky, how are you, Captain?
Yeah, good, thanks. You?
Yeah, no, I'm wet. You looking forward to this, mate? It's going to be horrendous.
No. I've driven here in the wet before and it's not nice, and seeing them all spin off in quali was not great, so I think I'll be tootling around at the back.
I'm sure you'll be fine. What's made me laugh is it says VSA off, which is exactly what you want. Vehicle stability something?
Yeah. Assist, yeah.
You need some assist though, don't you?
It has to be turned off anyway.
Exactly that, but it'd be nice to switch it on.
It would be very nice to switch it on.
Listen, don't want to get you wet, mate, because you'll steam up. Have a great, great time. Right, I think the other cars of the other championships are coming in. So, from myself, Paul O'Neill, I am going to hand over, I think, to an advert, and then hopefully it'll go to Andy McEwen in the comms box, and we'll get this race underway, and I'll be there in a bit. Thank you very much. See you in a bit.
For voice and data solutions at speeds that are simply out of this world, choose Maximum Networks.
Cars on the grid for the penultimate round of the Milltek Sports Civic Cup for 2022. A sodden racetrack. We were just getting to the point where there were some whispers about a drying line, but that has well and truly proven not to be the case, because another downpour means the track is arguably wetter now than it's been at any other point in the day. So this will be a very challenging 15 minutes of racing for the Civic Cup drivers, who are lined up on the grid ready to go for this penultimate round of the year. Qualifying earlier on today threw up a very interesting grid. The heavy hitters in the championship are all towards the front, but not necessarily in the order that we expected. So it's going to be interesting to see who can gain ground from further down the order, and whether those who have qualified well can stay at the front and score the points they need. Andy McEwen here in the commentary box. Alongside me is Paul O'Neill, having made his way back from the assembly area. Paul, what a race we've got in prospect here. Qualifying has set us up beautifully, and actually I'm less certain now about the destination of the championship than I was this morning.
Do you know what? I was going to say exactly the same thing. I am, thank you, I'm just removing my wire from around the microphone. I am so you know what? I'm sure Lions will hate this. I'm more excited for this than TCR UK. Just because...
It's been nice working with you, Paul.
No, it's not that. It's just because there's so many characters down there.
Yeah.
And they're all the same cars. So I just cannot wait. Look at that for a view. That is a typical October disaster of a day. Get your headlights on, sit down, drive your car flat out, and give us something to chat about.
And try and stay on the track, which some of them found difficult in qualifying, and it's a little bit wetter now, I'd say, than it was back then. We've got an indicator on for Jeff Holden.
He's had that on since he went in the assembly area, so he's telling us he's going to turn left wherever he can.
Excellent. Oh, you do need to turn left a couple of times around the circuit, but it is a clockwise circuit, the Snetterton 200, and a really challenging one of the best of times. In these conditions, it can be fairly low grip, very easy to snatch a brake and end up going off the road. The cars then making their way around to the grid on this one warm-up lap that they will have. The grid is headed up, as we've said, by the number 29 car of Dan Thackeray. Dan Thackeray, who is fourth in the championship. He's within 20 points of the championship lead. He could still spring a bit of a championship surprise here, could Dan, and he starts from number 29 car for pole position alongside number 72 Matt Luff. Second in the championship, Matt Luff, 9 points adrift of the championship leader. Number 2 for number 74, Rob Butler, an interloper if you like. He's not done the full season, so he's not one that we need to worry about points. But alongside him, the number 1 car we very much will be watching for, Alistair Camp, the reigning champion, the championship leader, arriving here at Snetterton, but blocking his copybook a little bit with an off into the Riches gravel trap towards the end of qualifying. That North South red flag. No damage done. Didn't start a bit further back than he'd like. Row number 3 then for number 54, Harvey Caton. What an effort that was from Harvey, and he is going to be spectacular. Certainly, he is the cat among the pigeons here at the front of the field, that's for sure. And alongside him, the last of our title contenders, number 26, Morgan Bailey, the red and white car, which sits third in the championship. Then row 4 for number 43, Jack Harding, always a decent driver in the wet in Mazda MX-5s, but perhaps struggling just to get to grips with the wet conditions in front-wheel drive machinery. He's got number 42, Will Redford, alongside him. He had a spin in qualifying. Then it's number 40, Bradley Lane, and 51, the returning Dave Buki, with Jordan Brennan, number 98, and Max Edmondson, number 33, on row 6. Remember, Edmondson was in the barriers in qualifying. They've got that car repaired. Let's see if he can make progress from 12. Then it's number 71, Adam Preble, number 70, Owen Hillman on row 7, row 8 for 25, Adam Kruger, and 19, Jeff Holden. And then the 3 production runners, number 28, Louis Hounsell, and 754, Alfie Jakins. Remember, if Jakins wins the class in this race, he's the champion. If he doesn't, it goes down to race number 2, whilst number 495, Mark Hughes, starts from the back pole.
Yeah, that's a nice camera angle.
Yes, we can see a lot of Dan Thackeray, not a lot of Matt Luff. Matt Luff is there, I can assure you. There he is, that's better.
There we go.
Visibility is going to be tricky here, though, isn't it? Not just for us, but for the drivers. If you're not in the lead, you're not going to be able to see where you're going.
Yes and no, because with these tyres not being a full wet, there won't be massive amounts of spray. There's going to be a lot of spray, but there won't be as much as you will see in a TCR race. So, yeah, listen, this is proper nerve-wracking for these drivers. But Dan Thackeray, round of applause to him and Motion Motorsport sticking that car on the pole. You heard from Rob Baker. He knows how difficult it is now to start to keep that momentum going for this championship win. I honestly, mate, cannot wait for this.
Rev starting to rise, 15 minutes on the clock. Dan Thackeray, 3 times a winner. He's won 2 of the last 4 races this season. He needs another one, really, to keep himself in title contention, and he starts from pole position. The red lights go on then. The penultimate round of the Milltek Sports Civic Cup gets underway. Now, all of them scrabbling for grip. It's not a great start for Rob Butler. Alistair Camp is alongside him already, but I think Dan Thackeray might just be able to hold on to the lead as they head towards Riches for the first time. Thackeray on the left, Matt Luff, though, on what could be the grippier side of the road. Does he tough it out round the outside? It's a brave man who tries that, especially with his championship situation. Through Riches they go. Double apex right-hander, they're all still there, and it's Luff with the lead. Matt Luff has gone round the outside of Dan Thackeray. He leads the way. Thackeray second, whilst Camp and Harvey Caton go side by side for third, Paul.
Wow, that's it then, isn't it? It's game on. Luff is in the lead. The rest of them, I've got to highly commend them for making the way around. Camp's on the sideways, he's on the grass.
Oh, that was contact with Rob Butler, I think, his teammate. That won't go down very well. And Alistair Camp is being swamped by the field. So too Rob Butler. He's towards the back of the top 10. This is a nightmare for the championship leader. His nearest points rival is in the lead, and Alistair Camp has it all to do.
Wow, look at the top 2. They've gone. Obviously something happened there in third and fourth. I've seen Harvey Caton as well look like he was involved in in something that was going on at turns 2 and 3. Morgan Bailey up into third.
What a start from Bailey. Jack Harding is fourth. Alistair Camp is fifth, so actually recovered from that well. Brad Lane is up into sixth position ahead of, who's that on the inside? Harvey Caton, who also I think was involved in the Camp Butler shuffle through the Wilson section of the track. But dream situation this for Matt Luff. He found the grip. He knew the grip was going to be around the outside at turn 1, and that's what got him the lead.
Wow, well, I've got to say, I said, didn't I? I said that was a great start by everyone. No one was into anybody and no one was on the grass. And the next minute, the championship leader is on the grass. And Luff won't know this because there's so much spray. He'll just look behind him and think, right, where is everybody else? Thackeray is second behind me, but there's headlights and I can't see anyone. So he won't know what's gone on, but you will see Morgan Bailey using third. Camp now is coming back through. Is he trying to get down the inside of Jack Harding? Can't do it. Harding shuts the door in the 43. Cars, Andy, are steaming up already. Harding's car, that 43, there's a, Caton wide at Ritchie's, and he loses a place there to Lane.
Yeah, Brad Lane looking up the inside. Brad Lane's had a good start here, hasn't he? Lane started 9th on the grid, and he's just got ahead of Harvey Caton for 7th, so that's a good effort from him in the early stages. 6th, in fact, that was, sorry. As it stands, Paul, they'd be tied for the championship lead, Wood Luff and Alistair Camp, so Camp knows he has to make some progress, but that's not easy to do in the wet, because unlike in the dry, when it's wet out there, there tends to be one dominant line, doesn't there?
Yeah, yes and no. You can do it, but you have to take more risk. And that's the problem now for Camp. But he'll be doing the sums himself. He'll be able to see that his teammate is in the lead. He won't want to take any risks to try and get a couple more points. But it's up to him now to try and get past Harding. But you'll see that the one person I wouldn't want to try and get past is Bailey. But look, Butler now down the inside. Is that job done? He's just making his way back up, isn't he?
Yeah, that's Will Redford who hangs it tough around the outside, curb and all, and he might just hold Butler off. I think he has, hasn't he? Again, the grip on the outside through the bomb hole and through Coram, and so for 8th position, Will Redford stays ahead. Right, Matt Luff leads the way. There is a bonus point available for fastest lap. He holds it at the moment, but that was a standing lap, so this is the first full flyer, and his lap time is a 1:40.0. Dan Thackeray in second does a 40.7, so that gap is going out, and Matt Luff now takes the bonus point as well for the fastest lap. That gives him a 1-point championship lead. Third for Bailey, fourth is still Jack Harding, but is that Camp looking up the inside of him? No, he was too far back in the end to commit to the move.
Yeah, Camp really hugging that right-hand side of the circuit to the approach, so I don't know why he'd be doing that. He must think there's a lot more grip on the brakes there as he comes back to the normal line that you would take, and yeah, the rest of them just coming through, but a bit of damage there, isn't there?
That's Edmondson. I suspect that's a legacy of his qualifying shunt. It was the left-hand side that rattled down the barriers. So I think that thing's perhaps just not quite attached as well as it could be.
Looks like your bottom lip when I start having a go at you.
Don't know what you're talking about, Paul. Down the back straight they go then. Lap number 3 is underway. There goes the number 71 of Owen Hillman. And there, Louis Hounsell. Now, he has got not only a lead in production, a comfortable one. He's got 3 or 4 cup cars between himself and Alfie Jenkins, who's under a bit of pressure here, Paul.
Yeah, they're sparky. I was talking to the Hughes Meister in that 495 about the race. He said, I'm going to tootle around at the back and just take it steady. Yeah, mate, all right. He's flat out.
He is, isn't he? And he could play a part now in that production championship battle. But Alfie said he just has to finish the 2 races. He could win the championship in this race with a class win, but 2 finishes guarantees the championship by the end of the day. So that doesn't really matter too much to him. 10 minutes to go then. Matt Luff. Things going well at the moment for Matt, who has claimed only the 1 race win, would you believe, all year. That came in the reversed grid race at Alton Park. He's had a lot of podiums and top 5s, but hasn't always capitalised on the bad weekends for Alistair Camp. So far, that's what he's doing today.
Definitely, and I've got to say, looking at it, this is a championship drive. This to do that under this much pressure, knowing you've come close before, and getting into that car. You really didn't want to chat to anyone when I was down in the assembly area, and that is absolutely fair.
Yeah, absolutely, he was in the zone, wasn't he? And it's paid off. Brilliant start, great run through the first few corners. Now, Alistair Camp, what is he doing? He's taking some very interesting lines. We'll get to that in a moment, because Will Redford and Rob Butler are still debating this 8th position, and Butler has now gone past Redford, who gives him a bit of help into the hairpin. There's Buki at the inside of Edmondson as well. That's a change for 10th position. But yeah, Camp is swerving out of the line, doesn't he? Looking to the inside. into every corner. He's not attacking or defending. Is it just visibility he's struggling with?
It's probably two things. I think it's mostly visibility, but there always is. See there from Dave Hughes in the 495. Mark Hughes, sorry. The thing is, you will have more grip on the inside because the cars don't go there in the dry, and they don't, you know, there's not a lot of rubbish down. You can just get the car slowed down better. So I think it's just a bit of braking efficiency on the approach to the corner, but also visibility.
It's Morgan Bailey then, third position for him. Now, is he catching Thackeray on this lap? Yes, fractionally. He's done a purple first sector actually as Bailey, and if he pulls that through to the second sector, he could steal the fastest lap point away from Matt Love. Meanwhile, as de Camp looking to the inside there of Jack Harding at the last corner. It's the first sort of serious attempt he's had at getting alongside Jack, but that's not an easy place to make a move at the best of times, is it?
No, it's a difficult one. We were talking about that complex of corners before. It's there was a lot of scepticism about this circuit when it opened as a 300 version, and that has he got this done? I tell you what, it's visibility that I think is really, you just can't see Camp, and that's why he's just trying to get out of the spray of Harding. But yeah, there was a lot of people saying the circuit wasn't this, it was that. I've always been a great believer in this circuit. The 300 or 200 configuration is fantastic, and this 200 circuit, like Chris Smiley was saying, is a fantastic tip-top circuit to race around.
It is, because it's short and snappy, isn't it? 300 lap is among the longest in the country, whereas this 200 layout, you get more laps into the races, more chances to go through all of the overtaking opportunities, and there are several of them around the 2-mile layout. Had some changes further back on that lap that we documented. Butler ahead of Redford, Buki ahead of Edmondson as well. All happening, of course, towards the back end of the top 10 or so. The reduction is still Louis Hounslow with the class lead. Alfie Jenkins is still second, and he's now put a car between himself and Mark Hughes in the shape of Jeff Oldham. Right, the next problem here, I think, for Alistair Camp is not necessarily what's happening ahead of him, but what's arriving behind, because as he gets delayed by Jack Harding, Harvey Caton is starting to close in.
Yeah, and he's... Oh, look how sideways Harding was through Gorham. Fair play. I tell you, he's going to be with them in a minute. Harvey Caton is coming in fast, and he was purple in that first sector. He was 2 or 3 tenths quicker than anybody else in that blue bonneted car there. But look, he's dragging Lane with him.
Crucially, though, Camp has made the move. Look, he's got ahead of Jack Harding, and now Harding is the one struggling with visibility. Jack, though, will try and come back at him, I think, as they head towards the first corner. So up into 4th position now for Alistair Camp. Jack Harding behind. What have you spotted, Paul?
Yeah, just pointing at the screen. Harding cannot see out of that windscreen. Look at the side of the car, steamed up to death. That car is not in an ideal situation. He cannot see. I can't even see him. Look at that. He can't see. There's no way he can carry on. Or he's never going to be able to defend them guys. But every window is steamed up in that car. Has Camp just gone wide?
Oh, yes, he did. Well spotted, Paul. Well, back through goes Jack Harding then. Might not be able to see, but he has managed to take advantage of another rare mistake for Alistair Camp. He just doesn't seem as confident under braking as he normally would, and now he's got Harvey Caton up behind him. So down towards the Brundtland-Nelson complex we go, and Caton pulls to the inside of Alistair Camp, who also goes to the outside on Jack Harding. They're 3 abreast almost into the braking zone. Harding hanging on, but Harvey Caton is there. He's alongside Camp. Contact. Into Nelson, there's contact as they lean on each other into the right-hander, but Camp hanging on by the skin of his teeth. Or is he, Paul?
No, he's finished. He's finished. Caton got great drive. He doesn't need this. Camp does not need this, because Caton doesn't care about his championship, and this is now starting to get a bit nervy. Camp is going to end up backwards and out of this race if he's not careful.
He's back down to 5th place. 4th place is the difference between leading the championship by a point and being second by a point. If he can clear Harding, he gets the championship lead back away from Matt Luff provisionally. Luff, by the way, still holding the fastest lap, although Harvey Caton's gone purple on this first sector. Let's see what his lap time is, though. Across the line go the race leaders. Luff does a 39.1 out in front. He's stretching his legs against Thackeray. 4.7 seconds the gap now. Morgan Bailey a bit lonely in 3rd. Then Harding, Camp, Caton and Brad Lane are part of this scrap as well. And somehow, lack of visibility or not, Paul, it is still Harding hanging on.
Yeah, and this is proper stuff. Lane trying to get involved in the 40. Caton's pulling him along, but Jack Harding, oh, he's the cork in the bottle. Look at that visibility. If I was the race director, I would be looking at that, and I don't want to see him out of the race, but if he doesn't go off track, then he can obviously see, but it looks like he's catching Bailey back up.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. On the previous lap, Jack Harding was 7 tenths quicker than Morgan Bailey. even with all the side-by-side stuff he was involved in. So is Bailey now struggling with an issue, I wonder? Morgan hasn't looked as rapid in the wet as some of the others. Max Edmondson's just been on the grass at the Wilson hairpin but rejoins. But Bailey is definitely falling back into their clutches.
Oh, there's a lot going on here, and all that's going on is to do with the title contenders. Look at Bailey. Bailey in that red car is understeering in the slow stuff. He's getting on the power early. He's got no front grip. And then you've got Jack Harding with no visibility. You've got Camp who's all over the shop. And then you've got Caton who's just purple, green, yellow, purple, green. Like literally it's all going off. His times are all over the place. But Caton at 54, he's the one who doesn't care, and he just wants to get a race win of some sort.
Camp up the inside of Harding. This is where he passed him a couple of laps ago into Murray's, but he's not close enough this time. Normally, Harding catching Bailey would be good news for Jack. I don't think it is today, is it? Because he's already struggling with visibility. The more spray he now starts picking up in front of him, the worse that will get. Camp has also had a good run on him here down the pit straight. So as they head towards Riches with 3 minutes to go, he goes from the outside and then sells the dummy. Back to the inside goes Alistair Camp. This could be a championship-defining move. He's swirling away under braking. Almost gets into the side of Jack Harding, who has the grip on the outside line and fends him off.
Wow, that was quite a desperate move. You could see the car moving around. The rear axle didn't want to slow down, and this, he knows he needs to get this done. I mean, it's not the last race of the day, but look who's around the back of him like an angry wasp in November. The 54, Harvey Caton. He wants this place. He does not care. Jack Harding, you can see that car. You cannot see through. I don't know how he's doing this. It's unbelievable. How's it going to end? 2 minutes and 23 seconds left. This is brilliant.
Yes, so there will be probably 2 more laps at the end of this one, I think, depending on how soon Matt Luff gets back to us. There is Bailey still hanging on in third with what looks like an ill-handling red and white number 26 car, and he continues to be caught by a curb-hopping Jack Harding. Wide goes Camp, and this is the part of the circuit where Caton looks strong. He's up the inside of Camp again towards the bomb hole. Does he commit this time? No, I think he is trying to be careful here, isn't he, Harvey? The last thing he wants to do is have contact with the championship contender.
Both of them were brilliant there, to be fair, because Harvey didn't bounce across the curve, which he might have done earlier in his Civic Cup racing career, and take him out. But, yeah, he gave him enough space as well, did Camp, so fair play. Morgan Bailey is now under pressure. Morgan Bailey is going backwards, and this is all about traction out of these slow corners because Jack Harding is after him with the rest of them.
Across the line we come again then. There is Dan Thackeray in second position, Morgan Bailey behind. And yeah, I just spotted that, Paul. Is Thackeray missing a front splitter?
Yeah, he can't have gone off because I've not seen a weird lap time from him.
No.
Yeah, Thackeray has clipped. He might have. The curbs are quite high here. He might have clipped it and got rid of it, but sometimes then things can go under your front wheels. And tonight, Bailey starting to defend. This is not going to end like this.
Yes, but who wins and who loses? That's the question, isn't it? We've got a lap and a half to go, and Alistair Camp is in the worst possible position because he's in the middle of a 5-car fight. If he's going to finish fifth, he'd rather finish a lonely fifth, and at least then the car's in one piece. But right now, he's in a perilous position. He could lose more places if he's not too careful. Luff, by the way, has just set another new fastest lap, so 1:38.63, 6.1 seconds up the road he is. The race that Matt Luff is having is a polar opposite to the one that Alistair Camp's having.
Yeah, totally. And, you know, the only saving grace for Alistair Camp in this situation is that they're all pretty quick pedallers, and they're not. I've not seen them defend a lot. Morgan Bailey keeps getting...
Oh, that's Camp! That's Camp on the grass coming through the bomb hole. Harvey Caton goes through, and that's more points lost now for Alistair Camp. Lost the rear going into the bomb hole, and he might lose another place here because Brad Lane sends his blood in the water. It's all falling apart for Alistair Camp. Meanwhile, Matt Luff is at the line with 2 seconds to spare. The checkered flag has been waved. Matt Luff has won the penultimate round of the Milltek Sports Civic Cup and takes the championship lead.
Oh my word, that is unbelievable. Morgan Bailey coming across in third place. Dan Thackeray was second across the line. Harding fourth, Caton fifth, Alistair Camp sixth, Lane in seventh place. Unbelievable. Camp on the very last lap, sideways. The pressure.
Yeah.
The pressure.
Yeah, well, I made a comment during qualifying when he went off into the gravel trap. His body language as he got out of the car was not like Alistair Camp. He looked furious with himself. And I think he is now starting to feel the pressure a bit more maybe than he'll let on. the car clearly wasn't handling great. He was stuck in a battle he didn't want to be in, but those are the mistakes that may come back to bite him. As it stands, I reckon Matt Luff takes a 3-point advantage into the final round of the championship. Now, the one saving grace that he has there is, Alistair Camp this is that he's going to be starting a few places ahead now on this reversed grid. That could be the thing that saves him.
Good luck to the graphics guys at Alpha Live. I'd get your calculators ready. This is going to be and if it stays like this, we may see a dry race. I can't see it. It's going to be some kind of damp. I can't see a full dry. Maybe a dry line. Maybe.
It's not till 5 o'clock though, Paul. They've got 4 hours.
Yeah, but it's going to get dark and cold. Honestly, I can't see it. Look at the standing water at Cullen. That was unreal. I wouldn't want to be interviewing Alistair Camp now.
No, look, you don't have to because he wasn't on the podium, but Morgan Bailey, Dan Thackeray and Matt Luff will be there, and they'll all be happy because they are still in contention as well. It means that the top 4 in the championship are covered by 14 points going into the final round of the season. You could not script it. By the way, in the production class, we didn't really get to mention this, but Louis Hounsell beat Alfie Jenkins to the class win. That means that championship hasn't been won yet. So that will go down to the last round by my maths. It's an outside shot for Louis, but he had to win the race. Did he set the fastest lap in that class as well? He did a 46.4. Jenkins did 46. I'll start that again. Jenkins did a 45.0 and Hounsell a 42.3. So yeah, quite comprehensively sets the fastest lap of the race. I mean, what a story that is. 3 points in it then between Luff and Camp, but with all 4 of them still in contention, and of course there are other drivers out there who are now also going to benefit from that reversed grid, and we could have a very different race, couldn't we, with perhaps the people like Will Redford, Dave Buki, Rob Butler's going to be back up near the front as well, all still to play for. So we have got drivers then making their way down towards the podium, and I think very shortly we should be able to hand down to Anthony Jordan, who has made his way down to the podiums because Paul O'Neill's off to go and talk to some TCR drivers, the penultimate round of their championship coming up next. But for now, it's all about Civic Cup, and Anthony Jordan has our top 3.
Well, brilliant stuff there for race 15, and again, a fabulous result there for Matt Luff. As you can tell, I'm not Paul O'Neill. As you can see, I've got much younger and far more attractive. But let's chat to Matt. Matt, well, what a result for yourself, keeping the championship dream alive. Great way to start the race of the weekend.
Yeah, definitely. I think as soon as I got Thackeray off the start, I knew I had to get my head down and keep going. I broke a small gap from him, and then I saw him go off behind me, and I was like, right, this is it, this is my opportunity. Got my head down, kept the times in, and yeah, I broke a good enough gap, and that was that. It's going to stay there for the rest of the race.
That's what we needed to see, of course, keeping that championship dream alive. It's all going to fall down really what happens in race number 2. Obviously a proper shake-up, but talk to the folks at home. I mean, going into turn 1 in those conditions, it rained heavily while you were waiting in the assembly area before that race.
Yeah. No, it was pretty misty. Luckily, I didn't get the worst of it because I was out in front. I'm sure it was a lot worse for the guys behind. But yeah, no, I mean, like I said, conditions aren't great. It's getting difficult to see. It's very slippery, especially through the back end of the track, like under the bridge and all the tight stuff. Really, really slippery out there. So yeah, it's got to keep your wits about you, really.
Well, you did a sterling job. You kept the car on the track and kept on the island. But you know, going into race 2, is this a good confidence boost going into that? Do you reckon you can get away with the championship this year?
Yeah, I think so. I'm starting 10th now because of the reverse grid, so the pressure's off. But yeah, I mean, I think the pace in that race is undeniable. So I'm confident I can get up the front in the next race.
No, brilliant stuff. Well, Matt Luff, congratulations. Race 15, race 1 here. Brilliant. Let's chat to second place, Dan Thackeray. Dan, well, from pole position you had earlier, couldn't make it to a race win, but still a good result, P2.
Yeah, not so bad. It was a bit unfortunate. I think we had a pretty even start, actually. And I think the outside of turn 1 just has a slightly bit better grip, and Matt was able to get a nice run on me in front, and I could not see a thing at all. I was trying to even see his brake lights to references, and I just about could see those. Hence why I had a bit of a trip over the grass, which gave Matt quite a nice gap. And from then on, I think I was just driving a little bit below. I'm never going to catch him after that, and just try not to throw it off again, basically.
The championship dream is still alive for yourself as well. I mean, the points close in, so it's good points for yourself. Camp, I think, finished P6 in that one, so, you know, he's struggled out there in this one. So going into race 2, what do you reckon the game plan's going to be? Just try and get past Luff as best as possible, really?
Exactly, yeah. I suppose we're going to be starting P9, P10. I kind of really needed to win that, and if I wanted to have any chance and them guys not to be here, but as always, they're joining me on the podium. They're never far away, so yeah, just see the conditions for the next one. It might actually be a bit drier, and just try and get forward, really, see what we can do.
Yeah, that'll be the main one. Congratulations, though, Dan Thackeray, P2.
Cheers, thank you.
Excellent. Let's chat to third place man. Apparently, we've got a very short amount of time. So, Morgan, well, congratulations, P3. A nice result for yourself.
Yeah, to come from 6th to 3rd is I'm happy with that. We was in the right place at the right time on turn 2 and 3. We managed to find ourselves a bit of luck and get round some and get a nice clear run out of the 3rd corner there. Yeah. After that, Dan wasn't far away. But the pace that Dan and Matt have got in the wet I can't live with that. So I was quite happy to sit in my 3rd place and keep the boys behind. So this is good for the championship. So gathered some points. Yeah.
Still a solid result in P3. Do you reckon there's a setup change in order?
There's not a lot we can change now. We've changed it all. I don't know where the pace is. These lads in the wet, they're pretty quick. So we'll see what happens on the reverse grid. Yeah.
Congratulations, P3.
Thank you.
Excellent. Let's very quickly, very quickly chat to Louis Hansel. Louis, congratulations. Pole position, of course, in qualifying and getting away with P1 in the production class.
Yeah, I got really bad launch off the start. I had both the other production cars next to me, but managed to go on the inside to the hairpin. And if you're on the inside of the hairpin, you get a bit ahead. And then obviously it turns left and there's a tyre bale there. So, yeah, I just kept my line and kept the racing line and kept the position, and it was just running around trying to catch some of the cup cars, which I did. I got a couple, and then yeah, from then it was just keeping on the track and keeping consistency up, and yeah, came back P1, so I'm very happy.
That spray was immense going into turn 1, but congratulations, P1 in production class.
Thank you.
Excellent stuff there from our Milltek Sport Civic Cups in both the Cup and production class. Rain's coming down again. We're going to be heading off back to NBQN.